possible to ask you which one was the most challenging scene? Because anything was easy, I guess.
When you immerse yourself in the natural world like this, at high altitudes, at sub-zero conditions, you know what you're signing up for. It's going to be a difficult undertaking. So it's hard for me to pinpoint one sequence that I thought was the most difficult, because the entire movie was, I think, for everyone involved, not just myself, it took the most endurance. It was probably the most difficult shoot that we've all ever done. So, but then again, you know, we weren't these men that were really doing this, so it's hard to complain when you see some of the sequences up on the screen, because our man's ability to adapt is just incredible. Our perseverance and our you know, our ability to keep fighting to survive is just incredible.
Did you ask for yourself anytime what I'm doing here?
I think we all felt that every single day. It was, look, I mean, you can do a CGI sequence, but when you're in the elements and the weather is constantly changing, you have hundreds of people brought up to far off distant locations. You're trying to do very complex shots in the middle of the forest, and the weather is changing every single day. Every day is a mad rush to capture Chivo, who's our cinematographer's hour-and-a-half of natural light. There's no artificial light in this movie. It was a very unique undertaking. None of us had ever done anything like this. So it's a very groundbreaking movie, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot of outdoor experience in Amazonia, skydiving, scuba diving. Did they help doing this well?
I don't think anything could prepare me for how these men really lived. You know, I've always been in environments where I had food and shelter, but these men were literally living in sub-zero conditions. And, you know, I always talk about this movie because, in reference to the Amazon as well, though, because here we have the first wave of American capitalism into the uncharted, untouched, pristine American landscape. And the first thing we do is extract all the animals. We kick away the native populations. They lose their cultures, their genocide. It's how this story is very much about how we manipulate nature for our own good and our own greed and profits. So this is like the American Amazon at one time. And you know, we think we've learned so much from history and what we've done in the past, but you look at all the most beautiful places in the world nowadays, the most untouched, pristine landscapes, and man has come in, and whether it's been, you know, cutting down the trees, whether it's been mining or fracking or damming, we've manipulated our environment. So this is the first sort of wave of that in the American landscape.
And you met native Brazilians there in Amazonia,
yeah.
Xingos, and did they help to do this movie also?
I think very much so. I mean,
yeah.
the one prevalent thing that you see, whether it be in Indonesia, whether you be the Canadian tar sands in Canada, or even the Xingu tribe, is how a lot of these cultures have really lost the way they used to live. The rivers are now poisoned with, you know, all kinds of different toxins. They're not able to hunt, and they're holding on desperately to their culture, and it's really up to us in the modern industrialized world to protect these places and these people.
And I also saw that you had 3 near-death experiences in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have 4 in this movie.
Surprisingly, I never got really hurt in this movie. I got a lot of colds and flus, but I never got a major injury. The whole production was very careful, and we did a lot of planning ahead of time. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this was one tough film to make. Thank you.
Thank you.